Hello, everybody, and welcome to this webinar about student management in Electude. My name is Tim van Schalenberg, and I'm your presenter for today. I'm using Electude already over 10 years, and I used to train and teach automotive education in the Netherlands to high schools and trade schools. After that, I moved to the US, to the Montana area, where I also set up trainings, automotive trainings, and now I work for Electude as the customer trainer and support specialist, and I live upstate New York. If you have any questions after this webinar is over, please feel free to reach out to support-usa@electude.com, and you can also find more support at our webpage. Electude is best usable in a Mozilla Firefox or a Google Chrome browser. Microsoft Edge will work as well, but Microsoft Internet Explorer is no longer supported by us. All right, let's move on to the topics for today. So we'll show you how to create a new student group, how to individually enroll students into a student group, how to move students from one group to another group, how to reset a student password, how to reset a student quiz, how to lock and reopen a test, how to organize scores, and how to create a master course and assign to a group. All right, let's move on to our own demo page here. So I'm using my own demo page, tim.electude.com. You can also use and track along this webinar with your own page from your school. Will look a little bit different with the logos and all that stuff, but personally, I really prefer it when I can track along with my own account when somebody is explaining something. So if you want to use a split screen or something like that, that for me that works really well. All right, so quick recap from last week. So last week we presented about the Welcome to Electude webinar. So we have three main accounts under one account. It's like you see a student account, a teacher, and an admin account. So those are three different users here in Electude. The student can only see what you assign to him through a teacher account. You can also assign certificates to the student, and everything will be automatically graded in the student account except the test sheets. So that's a good thing to know here. Then we have the teacher account. The teacher account is like where you actually can create student accounts one at a time. You can create student groups. You can create your own courses. You can also assign courses. You can create your own lessons. And this is a really helpful place to organize all of that. And you can also pull grades and assign certificates through this account. Then the last, we have an admin account. This admin account, when you set up Electude, is actually really important. This is the first step how you actually can create a teacher account in our account. That's only possible under the admin account. And if you want to mass upload students, like a whole spreadsheet, you can use the admin account as well. This won't work on the teacher account. All right, let's log in as a teacher. You see under here, we have a forget password link. In case your student forget his password, he can also do that with the student login and click on that link so he can actually request a new password through our system. All right, when I log in as a teacher, we have 5 different tabs. We have the modules, courses, student support, and settings tab here on the top. So the modules tab, a module in Electude is actually an assignment. So we have a lesson module, we have a quiz module, a test module, and a simulator module. And we have also task sheet modules. And so we call those modules in Electude, so they are singular assignments. And we organize those lesson modules or assignments in the course tab. So the courses is like the tab where we organize those modules in like chapters. You can see it as a book, and we have all kind of assignments in that book or binder, and we put like chapters in that book, and that's how we present it to you as a teacher, and you can easily get a course and assign a course to your students with all those assignments and lessons in there. So the modules tab has only singular lessons and modules, and the course tab has like an organization of those modules. So then we have, you see also the building block here. So lesson module is a singular building block, and then from the course is the structure. All right, so let's go to the students tab. This is the tab where we can going to spend most of our time in today. This is a tab where you normally as a teacher spend quite a bit of time in. You can here create your own groups. You can set up one student account at a time. You can copy students from one group to the other group. You can actually delete students out of your groups, and you can also assign courses or singular lessons to those groups here. All right, then we have the support tab. If you need any support, you can find it here. So you don't necessarily have to email me directly. You can also use our ticket system here. So this is a really convenient system, and this is the main way how you can contact customer service. So you just describe your subject here, type your message, and you can even like copy a URL in here where you have the issue with, or you take a screenshot and add it in the message, and you can say here add, and automatically an email will be sent to customer support. And this is also the main way how we write your message back. So under the support tab, and then when you scroll down here under the tickets department, you can expect messages back from our customer department. So teacher manual, student manual, and technical documentation. Then we have the settings tab here on the top right, and here you can like change your settings as a teacher. You can change your language even, and your password. If you want to log out of your account, you can use the white X here on the top, and you can also use the question mark here if you want to see the manual at that page. So this is an interactive manual. In this case, it goes to the settings, and we'll explain you more about settings. And we have also one, so let's say after this webinar, you still have questions, you can also go here to the question mark here, and this will describe how you actually also can create your groups and edit your groups. All right, let's move on here, and let's the next thing I want to show you is actually how you can create your own student group. And first I want to show you a little bit what kind of organization you can have, or how you can organize your group on a good way in Electude. So you see here we have a couple of singular groups, and here you see like if there's a small plus in there, this means that we have a main group. So it's a main folder with some subgroups under there. So one way to organize your groups are by class. So by period, you could do that. So here's a good example, first, second, and third period. You could also structure groups by course. So different courses, out of 1, out of 2, out of 3. And let's say you are a really large school, you have a lot of teachers, you could also structure it by teacher, and then the teacher can structure his courses under there, or his groups under there. In Electude, you can also, so you can actually use a student account, what is under another teacher, also for your group. So you don't want to copy the student in the system, so it's double in there. You want to use actually the same account under your account as well. So a lot of questions come here from if a student is double in the system. This can create a lot of confusing for the teachers and the students. So make sure that you only have the students, only one, that they only have one account in your system. All right, let's start creating our group. So again, I'm here in the student tab, click on all groups, and here in the middle of your screen, you see the plus under groups. Let's click on that plus. Here I can say the group name. You can put some text here if you want. You don't have have to. Make sure that the score student results is set on yes, results save, and say add. All right. So the next thing I want to show you is, like you see here, automatically it goes to the bottom. If I refresh, it will be on the top. Next thing I want to show you is like how to create a subgroup under here. Subgroups can have a lot of benefits because you can, let's say you have 3 periods in your school year, you can like move the students from one period to a second period to a third period. So when they are done with the first period, you can actually move them to the second. I personally really like that way of organizing my groups. If you have other thoughts, that's totally fine as a teacher. I just want to give an example here. All right, so I clicked here on my Automotive 2021 group. If you want to change the name, you can always use the pencil, or you can use the X to delete the group. Let's build a subgroup under here by using the plus under the word group here on the bottom. You see here also score student results. I keep that on yes, so you can actually track the results. I don't necessarily have to put any text here, so it's not necessary. So you see here now we have period 1. You can also see that here on the left side of your screen. Let's do another one. And let's do period 3. You can use your enter or click at your screen. So now we have 3 periods in our Automotive 2021. So now we created our group and subgroups under there. And after those 2 steps, I like to create my students. If I would click here on Automotive 2021 and click here on the plus under students, that might be not the best way to do it because then students have access to all the periods here. If I click here on period 1 and then click on the plus under the student, this means that the student only has access to period 1. So as a teacher, I can actually move him for the next period when he finishes all his work to period 2. So you have like something, yeah, if he doesn't finish his work, he stays in period 1, so that can motivate your student to finish it well. All right, so let's type in here. So I clicked on the plus under students. So again, if you see students here, click on the plus. You can type out a name. I personally like to use the first dot last name with lower capitals. You can also use their email address or yeah, just a nickname or then a student number. I like to see the username. It's just a little bit quicker for me in the system. I recognize really quick who is who in the system. Make sure that you create that you write down the right email address here. The email address is really important. In my case, the student will receive the login details immediately by email. So if you have a wrong email, he would never get his login details or his login account. If you have a password under here, so it requires to type your password and is a little bit differently set up in the admin function, then you probably are better off like handing out his username and password in person or email it to the student. In my case, this all goes automatically. Let's do one more here. All right, so now we have 3 students in our group of period 1. Let's say your admin already mass uploaded a lot of students in your system. Let's say it's over 20 students, then it's really beneficial to upload the whole spreadsheet with all the student names in there. You see, it doesn't take that much time to add students, but if you already have a list, that might be beneficial. So you can always find those students back here under all students. Also, when other teachers already add students to Electude, you can find the students also under all students. So the all students tab is a really helpful tool here to see where all your students are. You see my whole list from the students that are now currently in my Electude account. So tim.electude.com has this whole list here. And let's put some other students, so you can really easily move the students over. I want to put them in the period 1 group, and you can just click on the student with your left mouse click, hold it, and move it over. You see, like, it goes from a no sign to a black sign, and you see I did just pop blue, and this student is already a member of the group, so that's a really good warning here. Let's do another one. So left mouse click, hold your mouse, drag it over to period 1. And when it turns black, you can drop it. Let's do another one. Let's do myself here as well. And there we go. So it's just drag and drop to those different groups. You see here, I have now a list of 6 students in here. All right. So the next thing I want to show you is actually like, how do we move the students from one group to the other student group? Before I do that, I want to show you a little bit how do you assign courses actually. So let's do that first. We have some pre-made built courses here. In the courses tab, most often you will find the Electude Automotive Essentials here on the top of your list. And in the US, we offer the AST and MAST course. So that's for the Master Mechanics, and the MLR is for Maintenance and Light Repair. So that's more for the high school level. I will assign today a course here from Electude Automotive Essentials. So again, you're clicking here on courses, and I go to Automotive Essentials, click on this, the 2021, and I will pretend that I have a high school class, so I will do a basic level course. And for the first period, it might be good to assign them some tools. So this is a course what is set up with tools. You see there's 64 modules in there, and there's 20 hours of duration. So that's a good one for the first period. So I click and hold again my mouse, or left mouse click, drag it up, and I can now assign it here to students in period 1. So I dropped it there, and you see now I have here under courses, tools, basics. And you see already that one student actually already accessed that course. And that might be me because I already did this before. But you see actually, like, when a student goes through all those lessons, it will be saved in the system. Let's say I want to assign something to period 2, some courses. You can click at period 2. You see here under the students tab, you have like the title period 2 under there. And this means like the group of period 2 is open. And when I go back to course folder, I can also assign another one to there. Let's say for the second period, it would be really good to teach them a little bit about brakes. So I can click on here, hold my mouse, drag it over. And I'm hovering now over period 2 here. Assign it. Let's do disc brakes as well. I can also do this really easy for period 3. You see it says period 3 under here. And let's do suspension to period 3. And we can also do some gasoline systems. Let's do some sensors. And maybe some direct injection. All right. Let's go back to our group, see how this looks like. You see here, we have 3 courses in the period 3. We don't have any students yet. We have 2 courses in the period 2, but no students. And then period 1, we have 1 course, tools and basics. If you want to see how the students are actually doing under this course, you can always click on here. You see there's a list of progress. We can organize the progress here by clicking on it. And those are the average results of your whole group. So when I go down now, it's an increasing way to look at it. When I hover over there with my mouse, I can actually see the progress, what is made. So 70% of the group finished it and had 76% correct. And the higher you go up, you see here is 87% correct, and etc. All right. So that's like a little bit how you can organize those results here. When you log into a course, so again, when you go to period 1, you click at the course. You can also click then on the student name to see what kind of score he had in the course. So this will already say what kind of score he had for all those lesson modules. And again, you can organize it by clicking on the progress. It's an increasing way. If I click again, you see the arrow goes up, and it's a decreasing way. Quick tip here on the top of your screen, we have something what we call in the software world breadcrumbs. Those breadcrumbs you see on the top are like to navigate. So I could also navigate one layer back by clicking on period 1, and then basically get back here on the left side of your screen in period 1. All right, so let's say student has to reset his password, and the reset password sign doesn't work, so the forgot password link doesn't work when he logs in. You can also manually reset the password of the student, and you can do this by clicking on the student's name. And then when you click at the student's name, you see here his email address, and down below you see an X. This is for deleting the student out of the group, and pencil to edit the student. So you can enter a new password here. When I log out as a teacher here, I quickly log in as a student, you can actually tell what we did here. So the first step, when you hand out the new password to your student, he has to renew that password. So let's say you did 128, the student types in 128 and he logs in, he always has to renew his password when he gets a password from you or your admin, a new password. Yeah. All right. And you see also like our automotive course here. I'll show up in a sec. All right, so you see also like the courses he has access to right now. All right, let's log in as a teacher again here. I personally always like to put myself in the system as a student as well, so I see everything from the student's perspective, and it's easier to help your students in that way. All right, so you can also reset a student quiz. So the normal lessons in Electude, they're all like accessible for your students, and they can redo the lessons, but the quizzes in Electude are meant to grade the student. So the quizzes are not, a student cannot go back into the quiz and redo it to increase its result. So we recommend for you as a teacher actually to reset that quiz for a student. To do this, you want to go through the group. So in this case, it's period 1. You can click here in case it's a lot of students just on the course. So I got the tools basics. You see here all the modules that are in there. I can click here, for example, on the wheel balancing machine quiz. And let's say the quiz was not really well done by the students. I can click on there. And you see only Tim finished it, but let's say there are other students as well. You can check here in front of the students, this checkbox, and you can delete the quiz here by using the X and say delete. So you can do multiple students at a time if you like to reset the result. All right. Another thing in Electude is like a lot of courses actually come with a test. Under the automotive essentials, you won't see those tests, but if I go back to the courses here, and you go to the MLR, for example, or the AST and MEST, any of those courses start with a test. So let's say the engine repair, we'll move that over to period 1. And when I click on here, you see I just hand out MLR engine repair to period 1. And when I click on MLR engine repair, and then you see here the first folder is the pre and post test. Let's click here on the pre-test. You see we have something here with all those path logs. So this means that a course is locked for all the students. This is a preset in our system because like often teachers don't want the students to work on their tests at home because they can cheat their way through it, so they could Google all the answers. So if you want to unlock those tests when they're in your class and you want to do a proctor style, you can click here on the pencil and unlock them for all your students. Through this way, you see like now they are all unlocked. Let's say one of the students doesn't show up that morning for the test, for example, coriander. You can also only lock it for coriander. Super helpful. So if students don't have access to the test, it's often because they are locked here with those padlocks. Again, I can go one layer back here using the breadcrumbs, do the same for the post test, and I could also unlock it one at a time by clicking on the padlock. So now it's open to everybody. All right, so let's say the students are all done with the tools and the MLR engine repair, and you want to assign them to period 2. You just do the same thing. You can just click and hold the student and copy him over to period 2. They will be still in period 1, so it's not that you erase them from that group. To do that, you have to click in front of the student and use the X. So you don't actually have to erase them. So in our case, I can just like drag and drop him in period 1. That's right, in period 2. Let's say Bob Blue is not done with period 1, you just leave him in there and you don't drag him over. So I have now 5 students in period 2. All right, a lot of information. We have one thing left over, and this is like how you can create your own master course. So let's go back here to the course tab here. If you click here on the course tab and you click on the self-made tab here, this is the place where you can basically create your own courses by using the plus here. You see I already created 2 courses under here. For example, I can call my course engine maintenance to entry level. You don't necessarily have to do the description or the level, but you can also do the objectives of your course in here, whatever you like. So let's say add. When I click on my course here now, you see it's in the same way as we did for the groups here. You see the engine maintenance course is now open, where I can drag and drop lessons in. So when I go to modules, for example, I can search for oil filter. You can assign that to the course in the same way with drag and drop. You can do the changing oil quiz. Maybe air filter would be a good one. Maybe a quiz would be a good one on air filters. Let's see where we can find that one. Yep, there we go. All right, so it's pretty easy with the drag and drop, and the search feature is also really nice under the modules tab. You can also do the default area to search, through all those lesson modules. So that's also a possible way. All right, let's go to courses, back again to the courses. You see now, if I click on self-made, you see our engine maintenance course here. You see I just add 6 lesson modules in there. And if I want to assign this to period 1, you just click on period 1, go back to courses, click on self-made, and drag and drop this to the students period 1. All right, and now you see this is our own built course I put under period 1. All right, that's the end of this webinar. Thank you so much for watching. If you want to see more webinars, probably after this webinar, it would be good to go to the webinar about grading and how to organize courses. You can also how to build courses. That's also a good one. If you're using Canvas systems, and that's another learning management system, you can also follow the beginning Canvas webinar. Our webinars will be visible, so webinars on demand is electude.com. Webinars on demand. You can also go to electude.com and just click on webinars. If you need more support, you can also click on support. And remember also the question mark here on the right top, what brings you to the manual of Electude. Thanks so much for watching, and we hope to see you again. All right, have a good day. Bye.